Well, I'm not sure where to begin. I'm Cindy, and I wanted to make it about God, unity, and race. I sit back and I've done a lot of thinking lately because I lost my husband of 16 years in February. He served in the United States Navy honorably, and he died service connected because at a young age in the Navy he was exposed in the first Gulf War to chemicals. And the last 6 years of his life, he never complained. And he said he would serve our country again, knowing that the same result would be he would still join again. That's how much he loved our country and has defended our country like his father. And his father was a police officer sometime after he was in the Marines. And he was murdered in the line of duty by an illegal Mexican. Yeah. Who shouldn't have been here. And had been deported several times. But my father-in-law, he's in heaven. But one of my points I wanted to cover was God. Yes, our country has sat back. We don't have revivals every week anymore. Every year, like each church would have one time. Didn't matter what religion. But God created man in his own image. Think about it. In his own image. How many colors are there in our country, in our world? How many colors of people do we have? Lots. So I look at it as God created man in his own image. God is of all colors on his being. He's all colors. He's not just white. He's not just brown. He's not just caramel or honey or cream or yellow or brown. He's all those colors. He's camouflaged like a warrior against Satan, knowing he'd win. He loves all of us, and that's what he wants us to do, is love each other. He doesn't want this blaming you because of your color. This racism stuff, it's a learned behavior, and also from the culture that you may have come from. But man-made, learned out of greed and power. It wasn't what God wanted, it's what man did, but man had choices. All these statues that are getting taken down, that's something not to be offended by. That's to look at and say, you know what? We've come a long way from then. But you can tear it all down you want, but it's still part of our history. Whether they were from the South, slave sympathizers or not. God said one thing. Never did he ever say he was, two things. He didn't come to earth to save skin. He came to earth to save souls. And the other thing that he differentiates and says who you should not marry, didn't say you shouldn't marry another person of another ethnicity or whatever. He said, be ye not unequally yoked together with an unbeliever. Meaning that if you're a born-again Christian, you don't marry somebody who's not a born-again Christian. It doesn't mean you don't marry somebody that they're not in your race. That's man-made again. The prejudices of our past. We have come so far. Why would you want to step back into the past and relive it by creating this chaos that some Black Matters, Lives Matters people, they tell you what you want to hear, or maybe they're serious. But it's so sad that the silent majority, y'all are just standing back saying nothing. Nothing. I didn't see racism happening when I lived in Ohio all my life, where I was born. In first grade, I was chased by a David Spencer. Yep, David Spencer. And he was black, so what? Anyways, on the playground, I'd be running, and I fell in the water puddle, and he fell on top of me. I got all wet. So I had to go home and change. Go into the future. My son's a little boy, my oldest, Michael. And at that time, we had to live in metropolitan housing because I was a single mom. And I lived in a scattered site in a normal neighborhood. At least I got to keep a little pride, even though I know I've worked them in the past, but it hurts when you know that you have to go on welfare. But that's pride. And pride gets in the way of a lot of things. But anyways, my son, he wanted to go outside and play. Mom, can I go play with the boy over there in the greenhouse? And I just smiled and I said, sure, you can go play, Daniel. Do you know Daniel's a little black boy with Dominique and his sister? But he didn't say that. He says, I want to go play with the little boy in the greenhouse. Because I don't teach my kids the colors. I didn't teach them that. And when I come down and move here in the South, people down in here don't even know why they don't like mixed marriages and all this stuff. I mean, the one person told me it was because his dad was that way. So I say it's a learned behavior. These protesters, they have the right, but not the anarchy. And I think we're at a point, people, that we need to get God and unify and remember where we came from. We've lost too many lives for freedom. These statues aren't meaning that everyone agrees with what they stood for at the time. But they gave their lives for what they believed in. And yes, the North won, yay. But you're destroying all the hard work that was made in the civil rights movement. Republicans, I've never been a Republican until the last 5, 6 years, 7 years, whenever they passed Obamacare. I was always a Democrat, but I was a John F. Kennedy Democrat. And Bobby Kennedy fought against civil rights. And they were killed. They were assassinated. I saw it happen live on TV with Bobby Kennedy. And I was just a little girl, 10 years old, thinking I was watching a movie. How can people be so hateful just because of someone's color and you side with them for freedom of treatment? Our love showed how much we love each other by getting the rights for y'all to vote, all the minorities, us women. We get treated differently. Women of color, we get treated differently out in the world because she's a woman, she's this and that. I get highballed on a project around the house that something broke. What? You think I'm stupid because I'm a woman? Because it's a stereotype. People stereotype. We gotta get rid of that. I know it sounds like I'm rambling, but remember people where we came from. God bless the USA. God bless President Trump. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed to stand up for him. Stand up. Stand up for your rights. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for your self-respect. Stand up for America, the one we grew up in the, where you could walk in your neighborhood and not have to worry about some punk acting like a fool. We got to clean our inner cities up. These kids are important. They didn't ask to be born into this. We've all been blessed to be born in America. We have been totally blessed. It's your choices that you're making if it's not good. And sometimes it's out of your hands. But turn to God. He wants us to turn to Him, and we have turned our backs on Him. It's time that we figure this out, that where have we gone wrong? He left God out of it. I'm not a holy roller. I'm just a surviving spouse who just lost her husband. I feel I'm being treated horribly. My husband served 20 years, and I don't get their retirement because he didn't pay into it. Well, they take his taxes. What more do they want from him? They took his life. What more do they want? We get charged $250 a day in order to get mental health treatment inpatient. We get charged $250 copay a day until we meet our deductible. In a normal medical hospital, if you go there for emergency, on no fault of your own, $250 a day inpatient. Or the surviving spouse. The only ones that don't have to do that are active duty, so once you're out, you're kicked to the curb. Who's going to speak up for us? We held the houses down. We were in charge. We were mom and dad when our guys were out fighting, serving our country. And President Trump said that he was bettering the VA. Well, maybe the medical, but VA services have screwed us. They screwed my husband. All we wanted was a grant. I'm saying this now because I can't get through to the White House. No news channels seem to, when I really care. I have an eating disorder. It's a mental health. Highest death rate of all mental health. And the only kind the military will pay for is inpatient. And I'm here to tell you, you are treated like a prisoner. In fact, a prisoner. And that's not exaggerating. I would leave in the worst condition mentally. Our insurance claims are constantly having to be escalated. I'm still fighting I'm still fighting to get money owed to me. Over $2,000. I stayed one night and the company won't give me my money back until TRICARE fixes it. TRICARE has changed. We pay much more for our medications. We're military. We did ours. We passed the baton on. Why are we being, I feel, penalized? But it takes an act of Congress to change it. Do you really think that Congress is going to do that? I think it can happen because my God is greater than them. But I don't even think President Trump, if you ever hear this, you don't even know the sufferings that the military families go through after we retire. Mine died service-connected in the hospital, life-flighted, because he had to be on prednisone for 6 years straight. I've reached out to Congressman Neil Dunn. I've reached out and nobody in Congress legislature will call me. There's too much that's gone wrong. Our system is broken. The VA system for survivors are broken. You gotta wait 2 to 4 months to get your survivor benefit to bury your spouse. 2 months. So that makes you have to find money. And after serving 20 years, you think they would pay for your life insurance, but no, they don't. You gotta pay for it. Senators, congressmen, you're in one term and you're set for life. Our guys served for 20 years and they end up dying. And we're sitting here suffering for life on earth. Unity. We all need to unite and fight for our rights. Fight the radicals, the anarchy, all that. We're going to lose our freedoms if we let them win. We need to stand up, just like the president said. Stand up. Stand up. Why is everyone backing down to these jerks, these protesters? I mean, really? I know they don't want to riot and they don't want to fight, but when they are beating up on people that have their own rights to want to vote for who they want, where's our protection? Where's our protection? The silent voters for Trump can't even speak out because they'll get beat down. It's sad. Let's fight back. Let's get our country back. Let's get God back in our country. Let's start helping each other. Let's clean up our cities. Let's get our families united and get fathers back in the families. Let's get God back in our families. Let's fathers be fathers and dads again. What's it gonna take, guys? What's it gonna take to lose everything and become a socialist and then dictatorship like Cuba, Venezuela? What do you want? If you want America the way it is, you all, and myself included, need to stand up and be heard. Not just to your friends, but to everybody. Be heard, and who cares what they think? You have a right. And let's get God back in our lives, people. God gave Jesus for us. And remember, we're all equal. God is of all color. God's not just white. He's all colors. He's camouflaged for war. And we will win. We will win. We will keep America great, safe. We've always been great. Stumbling because we're humans. but we can make it better, and we will get through all of this. Every bit of it. Help each other. Help the widows. Don't forget the widows. In the old days, everyone always came and brought food made from home, leftover, I mean, I love the old days where people would care for each other and love each other and show their love for each other. What happened to that America? We can get it back. Let's teach our children to love one another. We'll love one another as God and Jesus loves us. God bless y'all. Have a happy 4th of July. Enjoy your loved ones as they're here on earth. Because when they're gone, you won't see them again until you meet them up in heaven. But you have to be a born again Christian. You have to accept Jesus in your heart. I love y'all. I love my country, and I mostly love my God.